We have a great little exercise that we're going to do today. I would record out here with you, but you're gonna complain because the weather is gnarly, very gnarly right now. So we're gonna close this, and I'm in the upstairs area here in Kentucky with Arlo Barlow, and it's still getting finished, obviously, but it's a really cool space. I'm on, my dad and stepmom have this farm in Kentucky. My dad spends a lot of time in Florida though, but we met here, which is lovely because they have horses and dogs, and so it's kind of like what I'm doing in Italy, my life in Italy. If you've been here for a while, then you know that I live on a horse farm, an animal sanctuary in Italy. If you don't, then hi, I'm Araya. I've been doing van life for a little bit now. Actually a little bit. Just this year I bought a van, and then I ended up finding this farm in Italy, and so I kind of, by divine intervention, have found myself there for longer than planned, but it's been so wonderful. It's something that I find so special, and I'm very honored to be a part of. I am finding a lot of purpose through being there, a lot of what I want to be doing moving forward in my life from being there. So it's a very divine experience, we'll call it that. So what I want to do today in this video and to discuss in this video is, again, the art of wondering. I was thinking about this while I was sitting at the table with my dad and stepmom. I don't know, the thought just downloaded to me. But it's all about wondering. And what got me to make this decision of selling all my things in California and moving to Europe and traveling solo with my dog and then buying the van and, just ending up in this random situation that is so cool and so wonderful and something I love so much, was this wondering. And so we talked about it the other day, a lot of wondering is where we create within the quantum field, within the vortex, whatever you want to call it. But it can also be used in this way as a tool. So you want to think about all these different scenarios that you have, like maybe, like a friend of mine has a lot of interest in pottery, or my other friend has an interest in making like the sewing things. I forget how to explain it, but it's kind of like I don't know how to explain this. It's a cute piece of fabric and you sew and you make these wonderful designs. She's so skilled at it. And so we have these different things that we're called to, that we have interest about. For me, it was a YouTube channel. It was traveling Europe by myself with my dog. It was van life. It was all these different things. Horses. I started to wonder about what if I worked with horses or had horses, and then I ended up in this situation. And so we have these callings, these ideas, these downloads. Then I want you to, ask yourself, will I always wonder what it would have been like if I didn't explore this? If the answer is yes, will I always have a little bit of, I know we try to live without regrets, or at least I do, but will I always have a little bit of regret if I don't try this out? If the answer is yes, then you have to ask yourself further. It's like, when I'm older and I'm looking back on my life, will I be more proud of myself for staying safe in this situation where I'm not exploring that thought and idea? Or will I be more proud of myself for trying? My dad and stepmom here, they were breeding racehorses for a while. They had this dream. They were living in Florida before, and then they got one horse that was retired from racing and fell in love. And then they're like, what if we get into racehorses? And so they moved to Kentucky because it's the place to be when you have horses. And, they followed that dream, and it didn't necessarily play out as something that they imagined it would have been, but they learned so much. They now are here in this beautiful farm. They have their beautiful babies. And though they're not breeding anymore for the horses, they ended up exactly where they're meant to be, where they feel, this is such a beautiful creation. And things change after that, like my dad's going back now to Florida, but you have all these experiences, life experiences. And so the point of that is, even if it doesn't work out, you will be different because you tried, because you explored. You will learn all the things that you were meant to learn, gather all the breadcrumbs that you're supposed to gather. Like, you will become the person that you're meant to become if you trust yourself enough to follow those things that are like knocking on the door and saying, don't you want to try? Aren't you curious? Don't you feel a little bit of joy when you imagine this? And if that is the case, why not try? If you're going to look back on your life and always wonder, and maybe have a little bit of a slight piece of regret because you didn't, why not try? Why not use those answers to those questions that you're receiving right now, or when you go sit with this, to propel you forward to this life experience? And know that just because if it does, or if it does work out, great. If it doesn't work out, it's not a failure, right? Like we were just saying, you're going to become the person that you're always meant to become because you tried. Maybe it's not that you're being called to it because that's exactly what you're meant to be. Maybe you're being called to it because on the journey of doing it, you're going to meet your life partner. You're going to meet your business partner. You're going to meet your best friend. You're going to adopt the right animals. You're going to whatever, right? It's going to be exactly how it's meant to be. You're going to heal your body. Maybe you meet somebody who also healed their body in the same way that you need to heal your body, and they have all the wonderful answers that you couldn't find on your own. There's something there for you. That's why you're being called to it. And really what the very basic thing of what I share on this channel in many different ways and forms and words, it's just that you got to trust yourself to follow what you're being pulled to explore. Your joy and your curiosity are your guiding lights. You have your free will. You get to choose what you want. And then from there, you just follow. And you let go of all the other stuff, the beliefs, the blocks, the physical items that are holding you back, the locations, the relationship, the job, all these things that are just taking up space from the life that you actually want. They bought this place, sight unseen, and no inspection, nothing. They just saw it and they were like, yes, that is where I want to be. That was a while ago, but I think that's probably where I get it from, because I had never been to Italy before I moved there. I did buy my ticket to Italy, and then I traveled throughout Europe a bit, and then I ended up in Italy. But I had a feeling, and even when I was moving, I was kind of just, if I had a quick conversation with somebody, I'd be like, I'm moving to Italy. And it ended up being that. It was maybe a foreshadow, it was maybe an intuition, but just because you haven't been there, you haven't tried it out, you haven't taken it slowly, doesn't mean that you have to listen to everybody's opinion on how you have to do that. People kept saying, don't you think you should go visit first? No, maybe if you're that kind of person, that's wonderful. But I want to fit as much as I can into this life. And that's just my choice. I like doing that. I like taking risks. I like seeing what happens when I leap, when I get a download and I leap. Because things will always work out if you're following your own joy, own curiosity. The doors will open. The money will come. The support will be there. Everything will figure itself out. You're not alone. I think that's the biggest download that I've been getting as I go into my heart space and I communicate with my angels and guides. I hope it's not too loud, sorry. But it's that you're not alone. You don't have to do this alone. You get to surrender all the hard stuff and say, whatever you believe in, God, universe, source, angels, guides, whatever. Thank you for taking care of this, for figuring this out for me so I don't have to worry about it, stress about it. And even as I'm saying that, I'm like, I get to apply this to a situation in life right now. So angels and guides, I'm applying that right now. Source, God, energy, universe, not energy, but source energy. And so, you might hear puppies down there. So allow yourself to know that you're not alone and that you're not having to do this on your own. You can surrender the hard stuff over and just follow the joy and curiosity. Allow it to be ease, allow it to be grace and human relativity, and just float. There will be challenges, there will be lessons, there will be perceived roadblocks, but those are all redirecting you to exactly where you're meant to go. So, what would you have regrets if you didn't try? What are you going to be looking back on your life about and be most proud of when you're older? Are you going to be proud that you played it safe? Because you could be. But if you're watching these videos, there's probably something that you're really, really being called to do. So I would recommend going towards that and exploring that. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new here. Leave a comment if you feel called to do so. If you don't know what to say, you can say hello to Arlo. Hi, sleepy boy. Arlo, baby. You're so sleepy. Yes, you're sleepy, huh? Arlo's getting a haircut soon. There's some sheep shears here, and I'm going to use those for a little haircut. If you want to sign up for one of my programs, I have 21 days to know your divine guidance. It's all about going into your heart space and asking your divine team for guidance, getting familiar with them, learning the language of them. I also have 21 days to rewire your mind. It's all about going into your chosen timeline, getting familiar with it, visiting it, which will in turn fire together new neurons, rewire your mind, heal your nervous system, allow you to have a completely different perceived reality where you remember the truth of who you are and you get what you want. If you want to work one-on-one, you also can do that. I will be back in Italy soon and you can book then. With all that being said, I will see you in tomorrow's video.